Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Arjun Bharadwaj. I am Vice President of Business at Smallcase. So a lot of you people may already know, right? That Smallcase is a product which is offered by HDFC Securities on the website, right? So what a Smallcase essentially is, it is a basket of stocks which are based on a particular theme, idea, or a strategy. I'm sure that most of you already know about this, right? So today, why I am over here is to talk about what are the common problems which people have when they enter equity markets, and how Smallcase solves this problem, and how HDFC Securities has basically taken a leap forward in creating their own small cases which they can basically give it to their customers. Right. So if you are a client of HDFC, I suggest that you go and check out all those small cases which are created by HDFC Securities. They are some of the greatest small cases that we have. So now just talking about the equity markets in general, right? In India, less than 4% of the people are invested in equity markets, right? Basically, that's around 4 crores, and this actually includes people who are also invested in mutual funds to into equity markets, and that's a very low number. That's just 4 crores. Now, if you compare it to something like US, where there is the 80% of the all the people in US are invested in equity markets. In China, is the other way around. Like all the liquidity in the retail equity markets comes from the retail investors. Now, the question is, why does India have such low penetration with respect to the equity markets? Right? It is sort of a feature in this market because from so if you talk about your parents, right, you go and ask your father, what's a good place to invest? He is going to say FD, right? So people think of FDs as avenues of investment. They think of gold as avenues of investment and real estate, right? And what has happened is that equity markets, because of bunch of scandals, which happened in like 90s, people think that it is equivalent to gambling, right? And that is basically a problem, right? Because if you look at any of these asset classes, that is FD, your real estate, gold, and if you compare it to equity, equity has by far outshone them in terms of returns, right? Now, a lot of people invest in gold. Like if you look at the last 7 years performance of gold, it is a paltry 0.8% return that would have got, right? However, if you look at decade by decade, right, how much your Nifty has given or your Sensex has given, right? On an average, Nifty or Sensex has given around 15 to 20% return on an annualized basis, right? So people, talk about the real estate boom which has happened in India. Yes, it did happen in India, right? But that was for a very small period of time actually. It was, if you look at the data, it was mainly from 1999 to around 2010 that the boom happened. Since 2010, it has more or less been stagnant. Right? You always get some pockets where the boom is happening, but if you look at the overall index, right, if you look at Nifty reality tracker, right, it has basically remained constant. Right now, if you look at, right, so despite this, right, there is sort of a lack of trust which has come into the equity markets. Right, there are multiple reasons for it. First, if I assume that a lot of people they open an equity account, which itself is a difficult process. There is a lot of regulation around it. After that, the problem is there is not really any handover. Right? When you're thinking about it, think about a 25-year-old person. Right? A 25-year-old person has just opened an account. The problem is they do not know how to start their investment journey. Right? So now that's where something like Smallcase comes about. I'll explain more in detail about what Smallcase is. Right? And when you have people like this who don't know much about the equity markets, right, that's where they commit two fundamental mistakes of investment, right? So how people generally hear about equity markets is some other person has basically said, oh, I made 10x in 1 month, or I made 20x in another month and stuff. So they basically rely on their friends' information, or some my uncle said this, or my uncle said that, or some other person who is known to them. Right? Now the problem is this: they may have made that money, right? Maybe they have been able to get that in a particular period of time. That does not imply it is going to be consistent, right? So, one thing which everyone needs to know is that equity markets has its ups and downs, right? So, whether anyone is investing in equity markets, it should ideally be for a long-term basis. And especially, I am differentiating between investments and trading. The second problem that people have is that they fall prey to testers, right? Like if you, as soon as you open a demat account, right, everyone gets some sort of an SMS saying that, "Arey, this is a 10x multi-bagger stock. Buy now with this particular point. It's in this particular point." That sort of tester, which is especially comes on SMSs, right? People fall prey to that. Now, once they fall prey to that, they have a really bad experience with it. They would have put in, I don't know, 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees, however the amount is, and they lose around 40% or 50% of the amount because they have trusted in the wrong source, right? And the third important problem is whenever people are investing in equity markets, they tend to buy one or two stocks, right? So when they buy one or two stocks, there is a big problem, right? For instance, like if you had asked 2 years ago, right, 2 or 3 years ago, if S Bank is a good stock, right? If you would have said S Bank is a good stock and you have gone and put in all your life saving in S Bank, right? It is possible that because of the recent events that happened, it fell down like close to 80%. Right? And when you have put all your eggs in one single basket, that results in a lot of problems. Like if by any chance there is any particular problem which happens with one particular stock, like your entire life savings can take a hit, right? And that is where one of the biggest concerns actually lie. People tend to over rely on putting too much money in one particular stock. Right? In addition to this, even the idea is that everyone should be diversifying their investments. Right? Over reliance on one particular stock is not a good idea, right? Because anything can happen in the markets at any point of time. Anything can happen for one particular company. But a market going down in general is everything will not fall down by like 50% or 80%. Like tomorrow, Nifty is not going to go from 12,000 of today to 2,000, right? But an S Bank can, right? Vakranji can. And that is why it is very, very important for people to diversify their investments. Sorry. So now the big diversification is you. So a lot of people say that, hey, I want high returns, right? Completely understand that's what everyone is there for. Now the thing is, along with the returns, you also have to take care of the risk, right? So a portfolio strategy always gives higher returns for the least risk as possible, right? It is proved scientifically that having a diversified portfolio of stocks lowers risk while increasing returns, right? Now here comes the idea of small case, right? I said before that small case is basically a basket of stocks, right, which you can buy together. Now this basket of stocks is based on a particular theme or an idea or a strategy, right? Now that is the main reason why HDFC Securities is creating their own small cases, right? Because like being one of they have a good amount of data about them about how people make mistakes in their investing journey, right? So as I said, people fall in for tipsters or some sort of scammers, right? People invest in just one stock, and there's one more thing, which is basically they don't know when to enter or exit a particular stock, right? So everyone wants to basically book profits as soon as the seed is up, right? That's a good thing, fine. You have booked profit, right? But if you book profit too early, right, you miss the upward movement which could have been possible in that particular stock, right? If you book profit at say 10% and the stock moves 50%, right? Even though you may have made up a profit of 10%, you still have a notional loss of the remaining 40%, which is happening. However, on the other hand, if a stock falls down, people tend to marry into that stock, right? Because people are always of the opinion that maybe it will come up, maybe it will come up, right? It's basic human psychology. As people do, I mean, as the stocks keep coming down, right? People tend to get more invested in it, right? I will go and average it out, and maybe that is a good strategy. But again, people tend to marry that particular stock, right? So a data study shows that when people book profit at 10% profit, when they reach any particular stock reaches 10% of profit, people tend to book that profit. However, when it is going down, people wait until they have made around 50% loss. Right? Now, with small case, you have clear exit strategies for when you need to exit the stock or when you need to enter your stock, right? And that's what makes small case a very good thing to have in your portfolio, right? First, it provides diversification, which is necessary in your investments, right? It gives you good entry and exit points for all your investments, and it is basically these stocks, these portfolios, these small cases are being created by registered professionals, like HDFC Securities Research creates them for their clients, for you people, right? So to make sure that you invest in the right stocks at the right time, right? And there is a lot of research which goes into this particular thing. Now, I will showcase a bit about small case, and I will also talk about all the small cases which have been created by HDFC Securities. And I'll just share my screen right now. Right. So, if you go to the HDFC Securities platform, right, hdfcsec.com, you have this particular logo here, which is Invest in Ideas. Right? This is basically very small cases. Small case is a basket of stocks. It's a idea which has been put together, right? And over here you see lot of small cases, right? Some of them created by HDFC Securities, some of them created by others and registered investment advisors, right? Now, sorry, right now every small case basically, at the end of the day, is a bunch of stocks with a particular weighing scheme which is attached to it. One of my favorite small cases is basically Shubham, right? As the name suggests, this is maybe for new investors or for those who have not had a good experience with equity investing in the past, right? So, the Shubham, if you are a new investor, I strongly suggest that you invest in this particular basket of stocks. Right? This particular basket mainly consists of your blue chip stocks, which have performed exceptionally well in the past few years, and basically there is not too much risk involved in this, right? So this particular small case consists of your Petronet, your Infosys, HUL, the stocks which have done really, really well. In this particular portfolio, you can invest with a minimum investment of around 11,000 rupees, and you can invest as much as possible. If you want to invest 1 crore rupees, please go ahead and do it in this, right? But the minimum investment has to be 11,000 rupees, and it has been given a magnificent CAGR of around 15%. Right now, if I look at how this particular small case has performed over the last few years, right? This is the 3 years performance of it. If any investor had invested around 100 rupees in this particular small case 3 years ago, the small case would have now been 158 rupees. However, if you had invested 50, it would have been 148 rupees. So there is a clearly 10% difference between the performance with respect to Nifty and with respect to this particular small case. Right? That is not all. If you look at 2-year return, it has again outperformed Nifty. With 1-year return, it has again outperformed the Nifty. 1 year, it has actually done 80% return. Right? Now, if you had done an SIP in this particular small case basket, right? So if you had put in 100 rupees for 3 years, this would have been around 4,500 rupees. If you had put in small case with Nifty, it would have been 4,200 rupees. Right? Now, this, if you want to read more about this particular small case, you can basically to go through this. This particular small case has Motorcar, Hindustan Liver, Infosys, SBI Life Insurance, and Petronet, right? A really bunch of really stalwart stocks. Now, so this is just one of the small cases which have been created by HDFC. There are a lot more, right? Now, in case, for instance, if you want to buy this particular small case, all you need to do is click on buy small case, right? It will ask you to do a login. Once you log in, there's just one more click that you need to do. And I told you that there are 5 stocks. You will buy all 5 stocks together with just one click of a button, right? There's no need for you to go and put in all the effort to put in the names of all the 5 stocks in your trading terminal. You can just buy it from here. The stocks will be bought in the exchange and will be credited to your demat account. Now, similar to Shubhara, we have a few more small cases which have been created by HDFC. One of my favorite small cases is actually this one called the Ritik Pack. I talked to you about Shubhara. The other one is the Ritik Pack. So you may think that, hey, what is this Ritik Pack? What does it even mean, right? So Ritik Pack is basically a concept which has come out, which is that these 7 stocks, right, which are HDFC, Reliance, Infosys, TCS, HUL, IndusInd Bank, and Kotak Mahindra Bank, have performed exceptionally well in all the market conditions through market downturns and when the markets have gone up. This particular list of stocks have done exceptionally well. They are very consistent stocks, right? If you want to invest in all 7 of these small stocks, all you need to do again, as I said, is just click on buy small case and click on buy small case and invest this particular amount, 16,400. Okay. Now, this is the small case. Now, if you want to look at the performance of it, right? Look at this performance, right? In the last 3 years, if you had 100 rupees 3 years back, it has given 180% return in 3 years. That's basically 35% CAGR, right? If you had to put it in Nifty, it would have just given you 150 rupees, right? Look at the even since look at the maximum. So if I take it from 2015, even then this is given 200% return. Sorry, 112% return compared to Nifty return, which is just 56%, 52%. Right? You can see that this also has done really exceptionally well because it comes down to the research which has been done by HDFC Securities folks, right? To pick up these particular stocks and put it in this particular stock case so that you guys can basically buy it with just one click of the button, right? Now, along with that, right? So a lot of people think about investing in a particular sector or particular group of companies. Right? So a lot of people, it's basically because of the brand. A lot of people trust this umbrella firms, right? A lot of people love Tata. A lot of people love HDFC, right? So we also have small cases which are based on group companies. So for instance, this Godrej pack consists of all the Godrej companies which are available, right? So look at the performance again. So because the brand matters, right? Similarly, you have most packs, for instance, HDFC pack, which consists of all HDFC group companies, right? This has given a return of 25% in the last CAGR in the last 5 years, right? That is 25% annually compounded, right? Similarly, if you go to then you have the ICICI pack, which is all ICICI group companies. You have Tata pack, which is all Tata group companies, and so on. Right? So there are a few more that I would like to talk about. There is an L&T pack, and there is basically sector pack sort of a thing. Right? So these are sector packs, small pieces, which is banking pack and insurance pack. IT pack and oil and gas pack. Right? These are sector packs. So basically, if you want to invest in, say, insurance and AMCs, right? This is insurance and AMC pack would be a great example, right? So with the recent change in about having everyone having insurance because of the government policies. Insurance companies have been doing exceptionally well, right? Into AMCs, uh, considering the amount of inflow which is coming to AMCs through retail investors and institutional investors, AMCs are also doing very well. Right? And look at this staggering return of 80% because of this. Right? Now, if you look at how this particular has performed with respect to the broader market, right? It has given 41% return in 6 months. That is just insane, right? So basically, if you like a particular sector, okay, if you like a particular sector, I suggest that you go through this banking pack, the pack sort of a small case, right? If you like IT sector, IT, my IT pack. If you like oil and gas industry in general, and you think it's going to do well, you can buy this particular oil and gas pack. Similarly, if you think banking is going to do exceptionally well in the future, you can buy the banking pack, right? So what basically this means is that you will be able to get one entire sector exposure, but with just one click of a button, right? For instance, I again want to come to the problem of Yes Bank and the broader Indian bank ecosystem, right? You have so if you look at all the top private banks, you have HDFC Bank, you have ICICI Bank, Yes Bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank, IndusInd Bank, bunch of them, right? Now, if I had invested 1 lakh rupees in just Yes Bank, today it would have become around 50,000 rupees, right? People can't predict whether that will happen or not. However, if I had invested 1 lakh rupees in banking packets, there are these five companies that I invested in, right? So it would have been 20,000 each in each of the companies. Now, even if S Bank falls down 80%, your exposure to it is still very, very less. So you will not lose 80%, maybe you will lose 5%. However, if you look at other banks, the other banks actually rose. HDFC Bank has been doing exceptionally well. And because HDFC Bank rose, it sort of cancels out the negative return that you would have got from Yes Bank. Right? So on a whole, the banking pack, when you buy anything as a small case, what you're now doing is basically diversifying your portfolio. And diversification is good. Right? So these are there's one more small case that I want to talk about, which is the platinum ETF. Right. So there is a lot of talk in the market about active and passive investing. Right? To give you what active investing means and what passive investing means, it's very simple. Right. Active investing is when I basically take exposure to the entire market and not care about each individual stock. I don't do any sort of fundamental evaluation of that particular stock. So I say, okay, let me buy all the stocks of Nifty, right? And let me just do nothing with it. Whatever Nifty gives me the return, that is good. That is a sort of passive investing. Active investing is going the other level. Like I will basically take the entire I will look at each and every stock and I will figure out how much I will be very active in researching about it. That is active investing. Right? Now, Platinum ETF is an ETF based policy. Right? So today in the market, right, if you want to take exposure to all 50 stocks, what can you do? You can basically buy 50 stocks, all of them together. Right? So you make 50 transactions to buy 50 stocks. Instead of that, what the easiest thing to do is to buy what is called an ETF. What an ETF does is it gives you the return of 50-50, right, for a much lower amount of investment. So if I buy all 50 stocks which are there in the Nifty 50, right, I will have to spend at least 2.5 to 3 lakh rupees in investing in them, and I have to manage it every time the market goes up or a particular stock comes into Nifty 50 index or some particular stock goes out of Nifty 50 index. I have to always manage it, right? So over here, that in a passive investing strategy, that sort of management is not necessary. The ETF will basically take care of all the stocks which go in or all the stocks which go out. Right? Platinum ETF is basically collection of three ETFs. Right? One which takes exposure to Nifty 50. That is basically all the companies in India which have market cap, the highest market cap to biggest company in India. That is Nifty 50. It also takes exposure to what is called Nifty Next 50, which is the 51st biggest company in India to the 100th biggest company in India. Right? And the third is the banking ETF. So it takes exposure to all the banks that there are. Right? One of the main drivers of growth in India is actually the banking industry. It forms around 33% of Nifty already. And so basically there's some more exposure to Nifty which is taken. And to buy all these stocks, right? So how many stocks are you buying? You're buying at least 100 stocks, right? From Nifty 50 and Nifty Next 50, that's 100 stocks. And all of them need not put in, need not invest 3 lakh, 4 lakh or a big amount for this. All you need to do is buy this platinum ETF for 5,000 rupees minimum investment amount. You can ask it as 6,000 rupees. Obviously, you can put in 20,000 rupees or 20 lakh rupees. But you can just do all of this with one single click of the button, which is buy Smallcase button over here. Right? So that basically is all about why the HDFC Securities, the Smallcase is created by HDFC Securities, and as I told you before, just iterating through my points. First, diversification. My first point is people who just come into equity markets, they fall for tipsters and scammers. They invest in the wrong securities at the wrong time. They get out at the wrong time. Right? My second point is people invest in just one or two stocks. They do not diversify their portfolio, and Smallcase gives a good way of diversifying the portfolio. Right. My third point is these small cases when they give a good diversification, and these are all well researched by HDFC Securities, so that they do what is best for their investors, and they know that things like Shubharam, Platinum ETF, or any of the back small cases that I talked about, or the Analytics small case, right? They have provided exceptional returns, right? The next point is people, as I told you, tend to basically book the profits too early and marry the stocks which is giving them loss. Right? Small cases avoids that. Right? By investing in small cases, you can completely avoid that. Right? Basically, so if you have not checked out the Smallcase platform and you have not invested in Smallcase, I suggest that you do the same. All you need to do is go to hdfcsec.com. There is a big nice button called Invest in Ideas. You click on Invest in Ideas and you will be able to invest in any of these particular small case. All you need to do is, once you click on Buy Small Case, select the small case that you want to. Once you click on Buy Small Case, just log in. You will be shown a particular page where you just enter, this is the amount that I want to invest. Click on OK, and that entire amount is invested. All right. So I'll open the floor for questions if there are any right now. Okay, there don't seem to be any more questions. It was good talking to you guys. And feedback is welcome on what you think of this.